Howdy folks, my name is Dave. I'm a wood turner. Welcome to Woodturning Wednesday right here on Twitch. Let me turn this light off. I think that will help a little. I bet it's this one though. I started this channel to become a better demonstrator and a better teacher. I want to help turners of all skill levels become better turners themselves, and at the same time I constantly work at becoming the best turner that I can be. I really enjoy teaching. I love. I just really enjoy working with people, and watching as things fall into place. It's very cool. Anyway, and you know the relationships that are made are pretty nice too. That's very cool. Anyway, thanks for joining me. It is Wood Turning Wednesday. I have, for those of you who weren't here last night, I have adjusted the gain on this microphone too, where I'm trying to dial in the right gain for my voice. I did get my new motor today, so I've got that installed. The lathe is a lot quieter, yay. So I haven't turned anything on yet. I've had this piece in the chuck since last night. You started off with a cylinder and turn it like you would turn a cube. On opposite points. So a 4, 5, 6 inch cube, whatever size cube you want. You spin it to where you have it on opposite points. Normally you cut off a little bit so that your points can have something to grab into. And on the cylinder, I chamfered the edges so that I could get that and started the cylinder in that rotation. Now we're working on, I got the lid finished and the outside shape of the box. Now we're going to work on hollowing it, and after that, flipping it around and finishing the sanding on this guy. And then, hopefully, this is really hard wood, but we got pretty far yesterday. So hopefully after that, I will be able to turn the finial for the handle. Cool, let's get to it. Drop this guy down. I think that's about centered, yeah. I wonder if that might help. So it's got a really nice shape, some really nice curves on it. I'm just going to take care of the top surface here. We'll fit the lid, we'll hollow a little bit, fit the lid, and then hollow it the rest of the way up. And I think that could stand to be, if I can not shake the camera, a little bit that way. A little more centered, and the inset screen in the upper left isn't covering it up so bad. Okay, this is awesome. It's much quieter. Okay, I actually do need this light. It's not helping as much as I thought it might. Let's bring this one over here. Doesn't wash it out too bad. All right. Yeah, this is gonna be. I got several tool steels lined up here. This is pretty hard wood. Let's see. That straightened out a bit. That is going to be an outside bead, I believe. So basically I'm going to work down in stages. As I said, I need to fit the lid on first, so I'm just taking the middle material out here to get closer to where the rim is going to be, so I don't have so much to try to get through with my box scraper making that shelf. So looks like that is about the line I want. Alright, now we're gonna fit the lid on there. Let's see, my box scraper. But before we do that, let's double check, see how close we might be. I think we're real close. Probably right to this line that I have on the surface. Alright, so I'm really close. I'm gonna need to put another burr on this dude. So I'll be right back. Take a quick trip to the grinder. Think that'll work. So on this one, I'm also not looking for like a tight friction fit. I do want a nice fit, but it doesn't need to be a tight friction fit. There, that'll do right there. Let's see if I just leave that. Let's take a little bit more off there. I think this should be plenty. And maybe a little bit deeper in. So what I want to do is have this curve of beads come down to meet where this is going to be a bead. So I need to bring that lid down in a little bit more. That'll work. Cool. And the grain lines up really, really nicely there. Very cool. All right, I could set the lid aside. Let's switch to the overhead. And get to hollowing this guy. Whoop, not yet. We want to first finish this bead. And then I can finish sanding this part here so that the whole upper surface is done. When I've hollowed this out, I can flip it around, then sand the bottom, and finish the foot. Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, let's get that guy in there and see how that looks before I sand. Hey, just for funsies, let's do that. Yeah, there we go. Very cool. And the curve follows all the way down to there and then spills over the side. Cool, that was what I was hoping for. So I had some really great success with these microphones last night. Connor Mallow says, "Sup Dave, what are you making today?" How you doing, Connor? I'm finishing off a project I started last night. I took a cube, well, not a cube. I took a cylinder that was 5 inches tall and 5 inches in diameter and substituted it for a cube, where people take cubes. I've done this too. You take a cube and you set it on between centers on opposite points on the cube, and then you turn the shape from there and you get some pretty cool stuff. And this particular guy was turned as a cylinder, but in that orientation, and this is what we've got so far. So I'm hauling out this box. Actually, no, I'm going to finish sanding this rim first, and then we are hollowing the box. And I don't think I got to do this part with air. But I do have to blend it in really nicely. Let's see. Nope. So we got there. There we go. So I have a little bit of grain that doesn't want to sand very well this way, so I'll do it by hand. There's not much to it. Oh, wrong way of the grain there, Dave. So I'm just sanding in one direction with the grain, support underneath the abrasive. Okay, let's look away all the way around. Maybe a wee bit there, a wee bit there. Cool, now we can go to 220. Let's see, what's this one? Not the 220 I was looking for. Oh, I should use this. A package that is mostly empty. Excuse me. And then after this, I'll hit it with 220 and you can start hollowing the rest of it. I'm hoping this will work, but there's a lot of air going around. I'm hoping I'm holding it right in the right angle that I can do these wings here. Yeah, I'll just need to do a little bit of touch up with air. So here we go. We get to test the microphone and see if it drowns out. It should filter out the sound of the compressor just fine. Although I did notice that when it had too many sources, my voice tended to get a little distorted. So I've adjusted the gain on the mics this evening to see if that can help with that issue. So I just cleaned up a couple spots that didn't stand well with all that air between it.
And I think I can head to 320 now. Yeah. Good. I am definitely going through some shoots of evasive with this stuff, but
let's see, that's 150, 220. Where did you hide the 320? Dave. Oh, that's right. I used the last one out of a package yesterday. So there should be one right in here. Well, that would be 400 across. There's more 400. $320. There we go. So after I do this bit here, I know I'm going to have to just go over the toe upper surface again just to blend any sanding lines in. And then I can hollow it out.
and hopefully, as I said, last night my voice did get kind of distorted when both your sander and the compressor was on because of the whine of the compressor and the loud drone of the compressor. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that's got worked out. Once you dialing it in, though, if it's not, I'm always trying to improve the quality of the channel. We got with audio, video, whatever. And I do have a 2011 laptop. That's what I'm working with right now. But hopefully it'll last a while longer yet. Well, it looks pretty good to me. So, that's that guy. Okay, I will clean that up by doing this.
Yeah, that took care of that. So now we can just move right on to hollowing. Okay, let's move this guy aside. Back there. That guy, let's put the box scraper away. We don't need that now. Connor Mello says, but I'm not too bad anyway. Good. That looks cool. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We'll see what the end result is, but I'm liking how it's working so far. Okay, hollowing.
So I gotta take my time with this one. It's really dense hardwood. Make sure I got enough room here. A little back hollow in there. Oh, you didn't get to see that. Oh well. Maybe I should turn on this other camera. You can see how I'm working with this tool, and I'm coming out at an angle. I'm not going straight across. And I'm watching the depth line form on this side because I got the light and all shadows, and then it's hard to see right there. But I am working at an angle like you would a hollow form, coming from the center, diagonally forward. Here in a bit, I'll probably change to a spindle gouge. We'll see. So with this material, basically, if I go straight across, as you can hear, it gets kind of grabby. Easy there, cowboy.
So I'm going to mimic the outside curve of this on the inside of the box. Let's see, I think I'd rather use a pencil for this. I think I'm about halfway in. Yep. Okay. Move my tail on my tool rest in, so I'm not leaning off so far. We want to minimize the vibration.
So this cut is the same as, I mean, it's a push cut because the cutting edge is in front of the handle, which is back there.
It's just the same as me standing on the other side of the lathe and pushing the tool this way. I'm pulling it this way. Still a push step. Okay. I know I'm not deep enough to to already be to the bottom, but I just want to keep checking so I don't overshoot. Now I'm below half. Yeah. And oh man, the figure that's in this inside of this box is really gorgeous. Okay, I think I'm going to get close to my bottom depth here. And I'm playing around with the idea of grabbing, I still got quite a ways to go, negative rake scraper when I get to that point, but I still have quite a bit to go here. Let's move this guy in a little bit. Sorry, hopefully I'm not speaking too quietly. I'm happy that I don't actually have to yell now to be heard over the lathe, which is very nice. Easy there. So got an interesting combination of this resin and this very figured wood from the truck of a maple tree. Very hard stuff. Oops, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's check that depth. Right there. So yeah, I can go further in, of course. Let's see. That gives me, I just want to sneak up on it. I'm gonna have like not, there we go, that's where I want to be. The walls itself aren't going to be perfectly even because we've got these wings here off to the side, so I'm leaving a little bit thicker to maintain this shape. So I'm going to grab my negative rake scraper now, clean that up, and the inside will be done. Yay. Let's see, I think that should be the right height. And I've got my center tool rest here too, this hardened steel. Doesn't get dinged up very easy, so it's easy to slide across. And speaking of which, I'm going to grab a little paraffin for that. Bit of treatment there. And if I recall, before I put away my negative rake scraper, I dressed the edge. Yes, very good. So a little bit of paraffin on top there. Slick that right up. And that will make it a little bit easier to get a little bit finer control with the tool because it'll slide easier. So keep in mind when you're using a scraper of any type that you want the edge that is doing the cutting, and it should be the burr, at less than 90 degrees to the surface of the timber. Let's see if I can get this light in the right spot. And here on the side, I'm tilting the tool up just to get better contact with the burr and a more shear cut. Okay, I need to hit, well, I think I can straighten that up a little bit first, but I need to throw or dress the burr on this guy again. Let's see if I can get, oh, I can get, well, no, that would be the wrong curve to use. All right, let's go dress that burr again. I think also I need to make a little adjustment to the top. My top, there we go, my top angle. So I do actually have a negative rake on it. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, so the bottom, that all looks really, really good. I just want to do a cleanup pass. I think that that's a nice, let's double check the depth here. Oh, that's not bad when compared to this. So they're kind of close. but that means I've got a little bit of wiggle room if I need it. I keep blowing on that when I have that guy. Okay, how does that look now? I have just a little bit of a divot right in the bottom. So just need a really light touch to clean that up, I'm sure. I think a little bit, oh, that might be shavings and not tool marks that I see floating around there. Oh yeah, that's very nice. Let's see how that looks. Oh, it's got some beetle damage on it. Nice. Let's carve that out of there. Get that beetle dust out of there. All right. Okay, that cleaned that up pretty good. Beetle hole happening there. I wonder. Looks like it's almost completely gone. Well, maybe I'll take it down a little bit more. Let's see. Get more of a shear cut, gotta tilt it up. Off the tool rest, I'll have to dress the burr again. I think one more pass. Yeah, one more pass. If I'm steady enough. Okay, hopefully, as I said, the voice, the audio for the voice is coming over really nice. It is nice to not have to yell. I do hope that my voice is not distorting when the other equipment is running. But, you know, like I said, I'm dialing that stuff in. We'll get there. Okay. And I think they probably got rid of the last of that. Just about the last of that beetle hole, which is a bummer. But it is what it is. Boy, that took that burr off fast. I gotta go hit it again. I've got one more piece of this timber that is about 5 inches long. Yeah, about a 5x5 cylinder. That one more of these. Not that it hasn't been a bad experience at all. Some of the hardest wood and resin I've dealt with. Just a lot of sharpening. Okay, let's see. I hope that got that cleaned up here. Yeah, it did. Okay, and the bottom is still, all that's still groovy. I got a little bit of a wave close to the center, so I'll clean that up and we'll call this inside guy done. Just a really light touch, I hope will clean it right up. Just don't like those little waves and whirls. Oh yeah, that did really nice. Waves and whirls and stuff showing up when you put finish on the inside of something. I like to have a smooth surface, and I really don't want to have to sand the inside of this guy. Okay, so that is done. I'm going to put my scraper away. And we are going to reverse this guy. And work on the bottom. Okay, let's see. So I want to look at this again from the top and take a look at this guy. So I still need to do just a little bit of sanding on the lid here. Excuse me, and I'm playing with the idea of taking off this top bead. But I don't know yet. But yeah, that looks, and without any kind of delineation where that bead should stop, it just flows right through. That's very cool. Okay. Let's carry on. Let's see, this is 2 and 3. I want 1 and 4, and I want that feature right there. Although I think I'll put that on 4. So I'm putting this resin filled area here directly on a jaw instead of between, so that it doesn't get pulled on both directions as much as it would if it was between jaws going in different directions. It's only going in theory in one direction. You know, it's getting radially stretched a little bit, but it's going in one direction just with this jaw, not with 2 jaws. Because I am in expansion mode, and I really don't want to have to crank down on this and possibly split this. I don't think the rest of the wood there's going to be an issue with that at all, but that spot right there might be. But I get to bring up my tailstock now, and let me change the direction of my tool rest. You know, I was just thinking maybe I should change my banjo out to the banjo that came with the earlier model of this lathe. Maybe I should do that. The handle on there just goes directly into the side of the post on the tool rest to hold it in place, as opposed to this constriction collar kind of setup here that I understand they replace a lot of these. They're out of stock again. I'm waiting for back order, and I got lucky. They had a back order of 37 of them, and only one had not been already bought and paid for. So I got the one handle, and then after that, I think I'll change the tool rest out. It does work. It's a little bit different height than this model, so I think I think it's this tool rest here I can't use in that particular banjo because of the height of the banjo difference. This needs to come up a little bit more, and when this was cut, it was not cut straight. It was cut at a really strange angle, and so anyway, I don't have a long enough tool rest post to use with this one anyway on the other banjo. Let's see, I need the live center right there. Okay, so I was playing around with the idea that this was going to be my foot, but I think I may even take that off as well and just have it just a little bit of lift, you know, maybe shorten that foot quite a bit and give it just a little bit of lift off the surface and not a big obvious foot that you can see from the side. I think that will be what I'm going to shoot for here. Let's see, this is stable. Let's see if it's running true. Yes, running true. Excellent. I'm going to give myself a little hand up here just for funsies.
Now, I don't know, how much drift there is with other lathes, especially other rotating headstock lathes. This is a rotating headstock. I haven't used it like that in a number of years because the hours that I put in behind the lathe actually helped me build my strength up to be able to stand for longer. I used to turn sitting down. At least when I started, and so this headstock rotates 360 degrees. Really, this also has the ability to turn outboard, which I did a few of those, and probably will not use this lathe as an outboard turner ever. It just doesn't have the mass to do anything but really small stuff, and if you're going to do that, you might as well do it in between centers. But the possibility is there. I've turned some larger bowls than this swing could handle, but there was a lot of vibration. Well, you know, there was a lot of vibration, I'm sure, because of my skill level at the time was not where it is now, so had to deal with a lot of vibration. Yeah, yep, that's time to change that guy. I was going to make a blanket statement that I would never do another bowl like that, but now that I do things different, although you can't start between centers on the balance point on the outboard, you have to either use a glue block, screw block flange, or a whatever one of those center screw bits are called. I forget what those little worm guys are called. Center, and so your piece is not going to necessarily, in my guess, most often not going to be
balanced on the lathe when it starts.
And this lathe just, even with I've got a 5-gallon bucket of old lead tire weights that I got from a tire repair center here in, not here, actually I got it when I lived in Oklahoma, and they have to pay a special fee because it's lead to dispose of it, and they were more than happy to let me take it away. And that's what I use for ballast on this particular lathe. It's pretty much right up underneath the headstock here, a little bit further back, but I usually have the headstock further back this way. The reason I don't is because was working on setting up both of these bigger lathes in here and needed room to get my knockout bar in there, so I had to slide this whole guy this way. I do have to check sometimes that they're, because, I didn't get back to the rotating headstock thing. So this headstock here does rotate 360 degrees. It's got several set points that will lock in automatically at 45, 90, 135, 180, and then 270, and then all the way back around, but then you're back to zero, which is very, very handy. But it does have the headstock does have a little bit of drift. So over time, I've got to check where my points meet here on the lathe, and I'd make any adjustment with my headstock, loosen the bar there, and give it just a little slight nudge one direction or the other. That's usually all it takes. But I do have some drift, so when I use my skew to set a center point on the piece, it's because of that. It is because I don't trust where the center is going to be exactly where it needs to be all the time because of the design of the lathe. Um, uh, and so once I set that set point, then the point of that live center will want to naturally drop down into that cone and set itself into center. So that's how I kind of, excuse me, that's kind of how I help myself out, and I'm sure that there's idiosyncrasies with other lathes. I'm betting that other lathes that have rotating headstocks probably have a similar issue, and it just takes a little bit of attention every now and then. But when it starts getting like, I can really tell that it's off, then I'll adjust it. If I'm working on a piece that like a longer, before I start longer spindle pieces, I'll adjust it to make sure I'm not adding more vibration with the, one being off from the other and having that extra distance. But generally, in between those times, using that skew to make that little cone in the direct center of the turning piece gives me, plus, I got in habit for doing it with drill bits because it kind of helps at least start the bit in the right position. Drill bits will wander no matter what you do. You can help those things along by, giving it a little starting point. But the same thing with the live center on this lathe, and probably, I'm guessing, other rotating headstocks. I don't know how much drift there is with sliding headstocks that only slide back and forth, but I bet there's a little bit. And then I don't know. I imagine the stationary headstocks probably never come out of center. But anyway, it's just something to be aware of if you have one of those lathes. Every once in a while, you're going to want to check where the points meet on your lathe. I do know, in particular, this lathe, that it's like, I want to say, I don't know, maybe 20,000 or 10,000th difference between the front and back of this tailstock, because the tailstock ever so slightly has an upward angle. So my points will meet in the center, but the tailstock is always just ever so slightly higher than my headstock, even though I've got them directly centered, you know, left and right. It's the up and down that I can't adjust.
So I'd still have just a little bit there. But you know, I don't know what other lathe idiosyncrasies there might be out there. I'm sure there are some. Okay, so let's drop back down to this fella. Got to double check my screen to make sure it's centered. There we go. Okay, so I am going to trim this foot down, but I need to get down to that first.
Just going to take it down bit by, I think, a little bit more, but bit by bit to get to what I think might be the best height for the foot. I kind of like it to be tucked underneath that bottom curve there. And I don't want it to sit right on that bottom curve, so I am working on, as I said, adjusting the height of this guy so it's just a slight, so I'm actually going to have to take that even thinner. It's just a slight reveal up off the surface, and that kind of makes it look like it's sort of floating there. Visually, anyway. That might be just the thing. So let's see. Now let's think about this. Do I want to round it? Which direction do I want to round it? I don't know. I think it would look better if I rounded it this way as opposed to creating an OG there. Yeah, that's just the tiniest little bit of lift. I'm digging that. Hopefully I don't obliterate it too bad when I'm sanding. I'll do my best not to. Now that I think about it, I probably might have been smart to do that last. But we'll see how everything works out as we go along. Let's see, I'm going to grab the detail gouge. It lets me get in there just a little bit tighter. Just trying to turn this into a nub. Oh, you know what? I've got a good hold on it. But if I can just cut this part off with a saw, then I don't have so much to try to shave off the bottom. And then I can pull everything away. Let's see, I think I'm going to put some detail here as well. Boy, the figure on that just looks really, really cool. It's going to look nicer when it's all nicely sanded up. Very cool shape too. Very happy with the way it came out. It was just, hey, let's see what happens. Okay, so I want a concave bottom. Manipulate my spindle gouge just by raising my hand, getting the cutting angle that I need.
Okay. Even as it's turning around, it just looks really cool. Oh, now it makes me think, well, I don't think I could turn a propeller because I'd have to carve it, I suppose. But it kind of has that going for it, I think. Yeah, I'm going to put a little bit of detail in here.
There we go.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to saw that off, and then I'll turn the rest of that off, and we'll get to sanding. And once again, I'm going to wear earplugs this time. I didn't last night when I was running the sander, and I probably should have. But I'm not going to mute. I don't know if the music is continuing to play or not. I thought I had found a workaround to the actual app playing the tunes, because the app is not responding. So I see that I have seen that there's been a few songs that played, but I don't know if it's continuing to. So I would say hopefully you'll be able to hear the music over the compressor as I go. But that's only if it's playing, right? Okay.
So I'm using the top wing at the very, very top of the point. The the very, very top of the point up there. To shear cut that.
With a very, very light cut, and that cleaned it up really, really nicely. So now I can sand all of this stuff. We'll see. I'll be really careful around that guy. Actually, I don't know that that really matters, to be honest. I think that we'll see how it works out, but I think it's going to be just fine, even with a little bit of sanding, because it's still going to have that little bit of lift. So hopefully everything is groovy. I do think I'm going to probably wear it away a little bit, but that whole foot there, and it may just turn into a bead like the top here where it flows down into that. That's possible. And that'd be okay too. It still would have the tiniest bit of lift right on that lip there. So yeah, groovy. I need, let's see, I think I better go with 150 on that side. And some new fresh abrasive here. Let's see, 320, 220. And this guy. Oh, I still have that almost empty packet of 220. We go through. That's good enough to use again, but not on this guy. That is toast. 320, 150. So I am going to put my earplugs in. Hopefully the voice I will talk as I go. Hopefully my voice doesn't get distorted by the microphone trying to cancel out the noise of both the compressor and the sander as the air screams through it. Basically, yesterday, though, last night, because there was lines going through here, and so I'm working on blending that together. I could not get to the bottom of this while this was in the chuck, because all this is in the way to get the right angles that I need to sand this. So that's why I've saved that bit for last, so I could flip it around and get to that. Okay, let's see. I don't remember what this is. This is not. This is the 320 that is used up. This is the new 150. Okay, let's see. Let's put that guy over there. All right, so the the compressor is going to kick on imminently, just so you are aware. In case you have any friendly four-legged family members who might get disturbed by the sudden jump in volume, it will be brief once the microphone filter kicks in. Whoop, I need to slow that down. Oh, I haven't run this at 400 yet. Let's see. Oh, so quiet. Oh, that's so nice. Okay. I'm hoping that I can feel the air going by as each corner or edge makes contact. But yeah. Yeah, that's sanding. That's not too bad. Okay, that's good. That's good. Not quite getting right down in here though. I'm sanding with a real turn this way on this part to have the going with the grain and then sanding off the surface of the fruit. When I do this side, I'll be sanding with real burning and on this section to keep it the material coming off the fruit. But that way I'm also following the grain as I sand it. Well, 9 times out of 10 at least, I'm leaving myself a really nice chance to start with, and myself decided which one of finishing product I'm going to put on the outside. I'm going to try to get right up on the rim here with the nuisance of 150 once I get the rest of this other stuff cleaned up. There we go. And see if I can be steady enough, or at least the paper that's real steady enough, and I can just get right around and just see how that works out, man. Okay, I'm gonna put the light on this side and down. I gotta blend some of this stuff in.
There we go. Assuming, of course, that this sheet of the bridge would last all the way around the street. It may not. That sheet makes a really, really nice shot. It looks gorgeous though once it's got its nice surface and polish to it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that finished product. I actually have both my bottom lights here in just the right position for this. This is really nice. I'll have to remember this. I never used it like this before. This is your result for it. So when I'm sanding, I'm looking for shadows. Because that means there's not a continuous curve or the surface isn't continuous as it flows through. There's a little shadow. And that's what I'm going after. So it's nice having both of these lights this way. I think I need to wait and let the compressor catch up and maybe air, and this thing does run on really low PSI if I want to, but it doesn't really sand as well. So we're going to have to go a lot slower. A bit of shadow right there. So now I'm all the way back around. I think I can go to 220, but I'm going to, oh, I should. Let's see this side on the bottom. Since that happened, you have the right to use the front with there. This wood has tons of figure in certain spots that it gets most. Yeah, it makes it a challenge to turn, but this is really good. It's nice to see when that figure gets popped up. I've got grain. It is at 8:45. Okay. So I'm going to take another piece of 150. I'm going to see if I can just test that on the outside. But that's why I always check the steering here. Yep. Alright, well. Okay. I may have to do this with a hand there. It's working, but I can't quite get
right down in there because this wants to flop around the edge. It's a little bit bigger than the head of this backup pad. It's bigger than this one too, but I could move this to the side and get it right on the edge there. So let's see, I want to follow the grain. Clean that up. Now maybe following the grain is not going to be a huge deal right away. If I can get this right on. Yeah, that's open. No floppy. Abrasive backing. Okay, yeah, all right. Let's take a look at that. Make sure it looks like it's ready to go for 220. We got some interesting, can you see that? No, I'm shining the light right on it. Let's see if that helps some, a little bit. All right. So got some really world figure right in here. The wood is spalted. It was starting to spalt before before I had set it aside to dry. So that's what these little shady lines are. They're not black yet. This tree was harvested before that actually started. So all these lines are spalting lines. But it looks like, and I think I saw a place, yeah, right there, that I've got to hit my hand here real quick. But it looks like everything is got a contiguous surface, and there aren't any, with the exception of that right there, tool marks on the surface. Let's try this way. Maybe I'm going the wrong way to the grain, even though I'm going downhill. Oh, yeah, guess it was. Okay. Let's see. Right there. No, that's okay, because that is that world, that figure. Let me see if I turn. Oh, that was already off. Okay. Does that like wash it out? It does wash it out. Darn it. Well, you'll get to see it once finish is on, because then that'll all pop again. But there's figure running all through the bottom. Figure running up through here and there. And on the inside, you can definitely see the figure. But it looks like it's ready to go with 220. Whoops, wait. Gotta blend that line. That one. I try to, when I'm sanding, go just in the direction of the grain. When I really get going, it looks like I'm sanding both ways, and sometimes I do, but most of the time the abrasive is only making contact in one direction. And that would be my best attempt at going downhill to the fibers. Okay, there we go. I'm ready for 220. So that was 150, 220. But at least I know I can get my abrasive right up to that edge.
The only way I can see out of the corner of my eye, the baggie and my handheld graphic pad is trying not to. Almost through there, knock him off the road. Okay, let's do that. That piece is 220 with that cleaned up.
So anybody, let's see, Raging Striker, the bowl cut. Hey, do me a favor, please, and let me know how the audio has been for the last couple minutes with all that running. And hopefully my voice, like I say, I'm working on dialing in the gain on this microphone. Keeping a very close eye on those wings as they come around. A little bit of light, there we go. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's clean just a little bit of tool marks from the abrasive. But yeah, hopefully the audio is working well, and the microphone is effectively filtering out all the loud, obnoxious sounds. I know it was working really well with the old lathe as it was running, because that was a louder lathe. That motor was, I was milking that motor along, but now I don't have to worry about that background noise. Both for the broadcast and for my own sanity. Okay, I am going to hit this outside edge because I don't want a really sharp edge there. There we go. That took the edge right off. And fairly evenly too. Yeah, nice. Okay, so now I am at the stage that I can hit it with 320, but I want to finish this foot first. Oh, and I'm curious to see if this engraver should work really well on this really hard stuff. Let's see, how about right there? I've got a, I don't know, maybe I need to make a decision as to whether or not I'm going to dye this piece. Kind of fooling around with dyes lately. Okay, so I am all set to go to 320, rock on. So that piece of 220 is still good. This is used up. 320, front and center, please. And I suspect I will need 2 of you as well. Oh, the bowl cut, he says. How you doing, man?
That's enough. Okay, get it off. Get it right on the table. On that outer clip. Right there, that's surface.
320 is about usual up. Whoopsie daisy. Oh my. My nozzle came off. I forgot it's spring-loaded nozzle, and I hit the spring release accidentally. Okay. Hey, I don't have to have earplugs in right now. How cool is that? So nice. I can get right up. These are handy. And there was a pun in there, but I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to create it, but hey, I'll take it. Let's just call it a hand pad because it's not attached to a tool. There we go. I'll leave that a bit alone. Okay, now for the little bit of blending I probably have to do. Let me use this guy as a friction sander to that point. And then take it the rest of the way with that.
In theory, oops, I know, find the edge, Dave. We need an edge. There we go. Right up in there. Oh, that's so nice. And not something I could do against the headstock. Okay, let's see if that left me a ring. Kinda did. Alright, we gotta get rid of that. Just that little bit of overhang on the Grex sander, which is really nice with the round backup pad inside a bowl. It's really nice to have that overhang. But in this case, it flops a little bit when it's up against the sharp corner like that. Might be easier if I push that instead of pull. Okay. Just spinning around looking for places I might need to blend in a little bit, because once this comes off the lathe, I can probably get it back to running true, most likely, but it's more work. I'm trying to do as much as I can while this is on the lathe, because I don't have to try to explore that. I have many times in the past, don't get me wrong, but I do try to do as much as I can on the lathe before I take it from out of where it's centered. Okay, just doing a little bit of minor blending with the 320, and I think now, let's see, I think at this point I am just going to use that plastic polish, and maybe I'll hit that with 420 and wet sanding. I'll hit this with 420 wet sanding, I think. Let's take a look at the lid. Can I do that? Actually, I should sand this first. Let me do that. Do I need to do that? Yeah, not sorta. Okay, so that is the oblong shape of it. Let's see if I follow the grain. So let's turn it around this way. So the cylinder originally was parallel. All the fibers are parallel to the lathe, and with a cube, you'll take opposite corners. You'll cut off the corners a little bit to get your points in, and a little bit of grab from your live and drive centers, and then spin that cube and turn it. I did the same thing with this cylinder. So I set it on the opposite. What would be opposite points on the cube were on the cylinder. I guess actually more it would have been, let's see, if I had taken that as a 3D representation. Okay, so it would have been opposite sides, not opposite extreme corners, but the opposite sides is where I turned it from on this guy to get this this angled shape to it and these nice wings. Next time, I don't know. We'll see what I do next time. So yeah, I do need to do a little bit of sanding on this guy. And then how are we doing on time? Doing great. So
I'll be able to turn the handle live too and make that final decision as to whether or not this guy comes off or not. Yeah, I just don't know. I think I'm probably going to take it off. But I've got plenty of material in here, about 3/4 of an inch, that I can take that 1/4 inch hole down further if I need to. Let's see, did this actually work in this chuck, or did I have to go to... I had to go to the other chuck, didn't I? Okay. So bring that key up. Yeah, now I don't know. I don't know how this would look if it was dyed. If I dyed it or dry brushed it, I guess. Along those, whoop, could be that way. Along those axes, I thought it would look really cool if I was able to get this back between center, like it would be here, and then turn that away so there'd be a more of a groove all the way around, under that wing and then over that wing, and vice versa too, I guess. But no, I guess it would only be one way. It would just be that groove right there. It wouldn't be this way. But there was no way to actually get a hold of it. This is a heavier piece, but that's okay. It looks really groovy, and if I get it off, yep, it looks like it's just floating off the surface. Okay, not this guy, this guy. Now I need 1 and 2, or 1 and 4. I think this is 1 and 2, 4. Yep. So that means this is 1 and 2. And I will put that feature right on 2. Get my expansion hold. Doesn't need to be a super grippy one because I am going to hand sand it. I'm not using a lot of pressure. I'm not making any cuts or anything like that. So, should be groovy. See, that was 220, that was 220, that was 320. What happened to the piece of, oh, there it is. It's on the brick sander, I believe. No, that feels like 320 as well. Yes, it is. So we'll leave that on the Grex. Grab another piece of 150 then. See how it looks when I have it sanded, but I may, I'm just really kicking that idea around really hard apparently, about turning that away. Kind of tricky to get the basic paper to conform to the surface of the spinning timber, but I think I'm getting it.
see. Put that area there. There we go. I think we're just about done with the 150. All right, see how that looks. The light on the subject. Let's see. Okay, to get this bead a little bit more, I need to catch that again. See if that took care of that dude. It did. All right, now back to this guy. That took care of that guy. So we are all set for 220, I think. Okay, that was 150, so now we got 220. So I do have the lay speed down. It's whatever is the slowest I can run. It says on the dial 400, but I have not tacked it out myself to see how accurate that is. In any case, it's still pretty fast, even for sanding.
How's that? Okay, so we lost audio. So the mic. All right, so okay, cool. Now we have audio again. So apparently, I guessed wrong on the microphones, and the one that I had, the battery was dead. I've contacted the the company that sold these. Oh, it's right there, right next to me. There, that sold these to get hopefully a replacement instead of having to send the whole set back to get a new set. All right, so if we set this down here and this guy lines up there, without that, I think without that top, yeah, I'm really thinking without this top bead, let's look about it from further away. Maybe I'm wrong. But I do realize that I do not have a concave surface here for the base of my finial to sit on. All right, we'll set the bowl aside. Let's set this aside. I just set my glasses somewhere. Where did I set those? Right over here. Okay. Glasses are on. Oops. Only a key, Dave. Okay. So, grab my spindle gouge. And we'll just make that a slightly concave surface. You know, maybe it was that. Maybe it was the visual of that top part not being, I don't know, I'm guessing. It just looked a little off. Okay, that's good right there. Okay, so we're off and running to turn the finial. So I can lose this guy. I'm going to start off between centers with a skew. Move that guy aside. Live center. Drive center. Whoops, you need to move, buddy. Okay. Looks good right there. Find I just eyeballed the centers on these guys. This is a rectangular piece of material, so I've got to round it out. I don't know that that's even close. Let's see. It's close. Yeah, all right. I don't need a really big finial, turns out, so let's grab that skew. Oh, I think I'll use this guy today, which means I will need to touch up the edge. I think I might be all right, though. There's a bit of a burr. don't want to burr on the skew because we're not using it as a negative rake scraper at this point. Boom, 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 boom. Here's the diamond cord out. Here we go. Okay, no burr. Seems to be sharp. There we go. And now I want to set the height of my tool rest. So I'm going to be, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 millimeters, not, you know, half a centimeter or so above center. This is, and that's probably high because this is a thinner piece of material, so I may readjust. Actually, you know what? I am going to readjust, and we'll take it down just a little bit. This is, like I said, so just a tad above center, maybe a mil or two. And by mil, I mean millimeter. Okay, then. Well, it's kind of bumpy, so we'll just rough it out this way. Now, Wendy likes to splinter. I think I need more of an acute angle on this guy. Wendy is also a pretty hard wood. And you know, that feels sharp, but it doesn't seem like it's cutting well. So I'm going to grab the, yeah, it sure doesn't. Let's try going the other direction with that. Let's try my other skew. It may be that what I think is a sharp edge actually isn't. Boy, does it feel sharp. All right, so my tool rest is still a little high. So take it to just at center. But yeah, you can see, and I was going the wrong way of the grain apparently, because you can see that tear out. It was, the grain is kind of going at an angle up this way, so I'm going to have to turn everything the other direction if I want to save this piece of wingy. I may not be able to save this piece of wangy. I think going against the grain the first time just boogered it up.
And it's going to get to the point where it's too thin for me to use it for this particular purpose, but I'm thinking if I can at least get a clean cut on it, maybe I can save it for some later use. There we go. Nah, still not. That grain is running the other direction. This just may be a piece that I don't get to use.
Let's see. Excuse me, golly. Yeah, that's going to take a lot of sanding though, so I might try to turn this for a finial for a holiday ornament and take the time to sand all that. I'm not going to do that now. I just don't want to. I don't want to do a whole lot of sanding on stuff today, or any day really. I will do what sanding needs to be done. Okay, so now we're going to match, let's see, something else to that maple. That's walnut, that's cherry. Well, I got a nice piece of dark black walnut. That might, uh-oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Honey locust. Nah. Let's see, that is, come on, Dave, you know the name. They used to make ball bearings out of this stuff. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Starts with an L. And doggone it, need to blow my nose. We're here in Traverse City in September, and it's supposed to be 90 degrees tomorrow. And we're almost to the middle of September. What the hell is going on, man? What's this guy? You look like a very fine grained piece of cherry. No, white oak. Okay. So no white oak. This one is, are you soft? Yes, basswood. Let's look at a couple other places. This is a piece of cocobolo. It doesn't have tons of figure on it, but you know, it'd work on that piece. It doesn't have to have, you know what? Let's go with that. We'll go with that piece of cocobolo. Sounds like a plan. Well, I got a piece of birch here. You know, that would work too, actually. But a little plain. So what would I do? Would I paint this guy? Would I dye this guy? You know what? I'll make that decision another time. Let's see. This is Red Heart. That is Fish Scale Oak. That one looked cool. But I want a larger piece of it. Oh, let's see. Let's put this up on the lid here and make sure. Yeah, that's gonna work fine. Okay. So we'll go with that piece of cocobolo. The decision has been made. But this piece of wangy here, boy, man, I mean, I have run into this too. Sometimes it gets like really dry and crumbly. Like, Let's see which camera. Let's try this camera. You can see all those pores and stuff in it, and they're just kind of crumbling away. Sometimes, and I think it's like maybe because it's like not as oily somehow, so maybe that's what's affecting it. I just a guess. You know, that black walnut would really do a nice job too. I know it's the right size. It would be very dark. You know what? I'm still going with the Cocobolo. Cocobolo it is. Lignum vitae. That's the L word I was looking for. Lignum vitae. I don't know how many other civilizations used a lignum vitae as ball bearings, but the Romans certainly did. It's an oily, very dense wood. Made a great, yeah, it made great ball bearings apparently. I'm sure even some more modern, to our minds, historical moments might have had, excuse me, ball bearings made out of other woods too, including lignum vitae. Okay, you know, I'll just put this in the pin jaws. We'll just do it that way. What am I doing on time? 10:20. Oh, plenty of time. Okay, pin jaws. Key. I can put away the center punch. Oh, that probably comes across really loud. Sorry about that. Okay, this guy, does he need a tall handle or a short one? I think we need to find out. Yeah, I'm going after this guy again because I think, oh, you know what? It isn't. I've got to redress that. So let's grab that diamond card again. And I'll go with a slightly coarser grit. And just hone it a little more. There we go. I think that will do it. Glass is down. So I haven't tightened this all the way. I want to tighten it a little bit more than that though, because I want to center this up in the chuck. I'm going to take my my skew and just let the corners bounce off until they're all hitting at about the same. I do that with round ones too. It works just the same. It'll help you get things running true quicker. There. Okay, put that key away. So let's take a look at this. Something suave. What changed? Out of the corner of my eye, it looked like the camera image just jumped. Okay. Let's see. Actually, I think.
Come on, man, it's gotta be. Maybe it's me.
Might be me. You know what? I'm going to bring up tailstock. And maybe it's just a little bit more support is the answer.
So back to this guy. I swear this has got a good edge on it, but maybe I'm wrong. Good God.
Excuse me. Constant frog in my throat, man. Well, that's going to take a long time to get around. So that was not a square piece to begin with, and we're going to dump this guy out too, and we will go with that piece of, oh yeah, that is kind of rectangular, that piece of walnut. Nope, that was a lignum. There we go. And there's my center, so I will just go with this here and bring this guy up closer. My center point right there. Okay.
So, try this again. I just realized something. There we go. So not the edge in question. Although I am turning at 400 now. Let's speed that guy up a little bit. See if I get still too wide. Okay, good. It's not the edge. I was worried that it was the edge. Oh, that's got some nice figure in it too. That's right. That's why I kept that piece. Okay, let's
size of this guy. Oh, that's too big. This is too big. Still too big. Okay. And that skew is giving me a nice surface though. Maybe be a little bit closer, not a whole lot. That's probably okay.
I think that is a good diameter. I'm going to check here in a second. Oh man, such a lovely cut. Let's see, I'm going to say probably that. Let's take a look at that here. So probably that deep right there. And we will use the parting tool for this. You know, maybe a little bit more so it has some to cut off. And I'm going to grab my 1/4 inch open end wrench to set that tenon diameter. There you are. You are not helping. Let's see, there we go. Yeah. Piece of walnut's pretty hard wood too. It's got all that figure in it. Come on now. This is the best way. There we go. And the way that I found it, the size tenon is to use an open end wrench. That's going to be exactly, well, okay, a good quality, decent quality open end wrench, I guess. Some that are mass produced in other countries aren't as accurate in their sizing. Okay, now where am I at? I am going to see
cut that off. And see if the base of this is the right size for this capper here. Oh, it broke out. Okay, so I need to make my tenon a little bit longer and the base smaller. So there's that answer.
Hoping I don't kick out too much vibration here. Just taking my time, letting the tool do the work.
I'm gonna have to hit that just a little bit more. It's a little bit bigger than it should be, but yep. Let's see, I think I want my skew though, because I now have this a little concave. So that it in theory will sit straight and flat on top of this guy. Okay, now that's too long, but that's okay. I can trim this off little by little. That should be about right. Yep. Okay, so this guy needs to be a little bit narrower in diameter.
Hear the vibration go away as I get closer to the headstock where the support is.
Closer I get to the support of it. What in the world? Oh, that was all me. There's something in there? Oh, I'm going to have to drill that deeper in. Okay, that's what the issue is. Yep. All right, so a little bit narrower still.
Ooh, it gets a little warm, Dave. Be careful. Okay, that might be really close.
I think I'll go with that. Okay, so I need to, since I need to drill that hole deeper, that means that this needs to be longer. Again. Okay, now I can make my shape. Okay, we have a strange, odd shape that needs something. Alright, first of all, let's undercut that just a little bit, give it just a little bit of a chamfer. Alright, I'm just not doing so well with light today. Oh, let me try. Okay, that guy helps a little bit. Alright, let's clean that up. Let's see. Doesn't have to be really tall, but I think I want a little bit of a thinner, delicate handle. So, and I think I also. Whoa! Just messed that up. But that fixes it. Let's see, I think the detail gouge will let me get in there a little bit tighter. Now that'll sand out. Alright, let's turn it out instead. There we go. Nice screw happening there. And then I think
see, we want to get right. There we go. Right in there. And I think we'll make it a little bit thinner, delicate handle. Let's see, that's not thin enough. Okay, let's see. Now what do I want to do with this? I think do I want to put another sphere on the other end? I don't think so. I think well, how about them apples? So yeah, about that tall. Something like that, and then I will grab my little parting tool guy. That would look really good for that particular parting tool, so let's slow this down and sand it a little bit. Let's see, let's just jump right up to 320. There we go. Yeah, let's really Should finish off the tools so I can start off with a higher bit here. That's always nice. So if you didn't get to join me last night, you didn't see, and I'll bring it out tonight because I think this would be the perfect perfect spot to use it. But I got a new parting tool. I hate buying things online because I want to be able to put it in my hand and know what size it is for sure and if it's going to work for me. But this one I bought online. Huh. That's a weird sound.
Why is it making that sound? Let's take a look and find out. Well, I don't know because it's not making that sound now. What's the deal here? There we go. Okay, sorry about that little interlude. I just hearing a weird or unusual sound and sound like it was coming from inside the headstock. Okay, finish this guy off.
Don't have to use a lot of pressure for this.
Just takes practice with the tools. Is that going to be tall enough? Let's see. I think that is the height that I want. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so this guy I'm going to cut off at an angle. So why don't I make that a little bit taller?
All right, we'll leave it at 400 RPM. I was going to part it off, but now where's my 320? Where'd that go? 220, 220. What the heck did you? Oh, there it is.
And instead I'm going to cut it off at an angle, and then I'm going to slightly round that off because I like the way that looks too. And why did I put the tool rest right up on it? I don't know. Okay. Now I can take this off the lathe here. Save that for later. I might be able to use that for something else. Yes. Okay. Put these two guys away. Make a little more room here. Not you, you stay. Okay, 150 first. Now I'm going to start rounding it, the face of it off a little bit because I like having a slightly curved or domed surface on these. There we go. Okay, now to 220. That's 150. That's 220. That's looking pretty good. Now 320. Oh yeah. Let's see, let's get my little hand right here. That was 320. All right, so the surface itself, and let's go back to the overhead here. So that surface is now rounded. Let's just take some light turns around the edge of this thing to take the sharp edge off, just enough pressure to change the, or chamfer it, I guess would be the, just say chamfer. And that's nicely rounded. I like it. I'm going to hit it one more time. Move it back and forth. There we go. Okay, there we go. So that's the finial. So here we have the box. I need to drill this guy, so I'll do this next. So there's that, and that finial is going to fit right in there. Whoops. So now that I have just remembered again that I need to drill this guy one more time, let's do that. Here I am thinking, hey, look at that, man, I'm all done. Yeah, no. Almost, though. Okay, so move these two aside. Another likely harasser that has been restricted in the chat. That's lovely. I don't know. And we are at, wow, 1 minute to go on the broadcast. So yay, got to finish the box. It's all set to have the plastic polished. Let's get this guy off of here. And temporarily place that guy. I'm going to find out where the, oh, I was already very close. That looks like. Try to find out where the grain matches up the best. Actually, that's it right there. Before I attach it permanently, but yeah, right about there. So that's kind of a bummer. It's a little bit off center, but that's the way it goes. The wood drill bit just wanted to wander. Not perfect, but it'll do. And that sits flat on there as it should. I think I will take off just a skosh on the length of this though. Just a little bit. Okay, there we are. So another oh, that even fit better too, in fact. So the little cone end that I had on the finial from parting it off also wasn't letting it sit in there right, but there we go. And from the side view, yeah, it's kind of cool looking, man. So that was fun to play around with. And the grain lines up. Yay! Digging it. All right, cool. All right, let's go ahead and say that since it's 11 o'clock, we'll end the broadcast. I want to thank you for joining me. My name is Dave. I'm a woodturner. If you've been watching for any like the time, I'm a woodturner. I started this channel to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator, to help other turners of all skill levels become better turners themselves. Hopefully, and actually in a lot of cases with newer turners, smooth out those bumps and shorten some of the journeys, exploration. It's nice to be able to pass on um, things that I've learned that might help somebody become better at their tool handling skills and maybe skip some of the bumps along the way. But I started turning as therapy for PTSD, and it went, and it's wonderful for that. It works very well for me. And then I found out I had a knack for it, and found out. Then I fell in love with it, and so here we are. So I'm working on turning this into not only a lifestyle but a career. So I thank you for joining me. I thank you for the support of this channel. Please, if you haven't already, follow the channel. That does help support the channel and help it get out to more folks. Um, and I hope that I have inspired you to try something a little bit different on the lathe. And go out and practice and play and practice and play and practice. It doesn't matter, like I say, the lathe speed doesn't make you a better turner one way or the other. But practicing your tool handling skills sure does. So that's what I'm all about. Practice, practice, practice. I think that is the biggest secret in wood turning. And I think it's funny too, because I did have a young guy ask me, because I had a very thin bowl on display at a show, and he said, "Well, so what's your secret? How do you get these bowls so thin?" And I looked at him and I said, "Practice." And he said, "Oh yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. You don't want to tell me your secrets. I understand. It's a craft secret." I said, "No, dude, no, that is the secret. The secret is you have to practice. You don't just walk into somebody's studio, pick up a hand tool, and turn the most beautiful, precious turn wooden object ever in the world. It's not how it works. You have to practice and get to those points where you can start to create those things. And that takes a lot of muscle memory, a lot of practice, a lot of time behind the wheel. And so I try to teach you things that simplify and take out the bumps along the way so that the turning experience itself is more enjoyable, because as I have learned from experience, the more you enjoy the turning, the more you'll actually want to go out and do it. And that's what it's all about, man. So thank you again for joining me this evening, this Wood Turning Wednesday. I'll be back again on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, 8 to 11. Next week is the last week for the art pairing at Twisted Fish Gallery. Alan Masiag and myself have our works paired together. He's a landscape painter, a plein air painter. I'm a wood artist, and actually our pieces really, I talked about doing another show because our pieces just really complement each other. I think they're very complementary when they're shown together. So, um, and he agreed with me. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, there's one more week left of that, and then be in some holiday markets and stuff like that this year. You can always go to my website if you can't make it out to the area or whatever. Go to the website. You can order some lovely holiday pieces for family and friends there. Um, yeah, yeah. So I hope to see you out in the wild. If I'm not here digitally, hopefully it's out in the wild too. Maybe keeping bees or turning wood, whatever it is. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks again for joining me, Dave Ruff, Woodturning on Wednesday on Twitch. See you next Tuesday. Thanks.